Welcome to episode 6 of Shane Talks Season 2 with Mr. Chris Schneider. Chris, my brother, how are you doing, sir? It's been a little while.
It's been a little while. So far, it's been long enough to realize season two is happening of
Season
the
2.
Shane
Well,
Talk series.
let's address a little story on that real quick. The last time you and I were on camera together, we were recording the Shane Talks finale, or so I thought at that point. After
Right.
we got off camera, you said to me, you were like, Shane, I have a feeling that this isn't going to be your actual last episode. And then fast forward a couple of months, I come up with the idea for season 2. I reach out to you, Chris, would you be interested in coming back for another episode? And you did two great things. Number one, you were super supportive. You said, absolutely, man, I'd love to come back. And number two, you were like, you were very supportive. You said, I'm happy to see that you found something to do with the season 2 and that you're doing more. So I very much appreciate
Great.
all of your support, my friend.
Nope, I have a blast with it, and I'm glad you do it because I think you have a blast with it too. And
I
those of us
absolutely, I
who
love
are on
nothing
this
more
end
than
enjoy it.
talking movies with my friends. That is my absolute favorite thing to do. And today we are going to talk about a movie that I'm super excited about. I'm going to consider this episode is kind of what I'm going to consider the spiritual successor to Troy's episode. Troy and I talked about Dazed and Confused. And while these
Yeah.
movies don't share the same writer, they don't share the same director, they just have a vibe that we'll get into. I'm going to be able to call back to some things that Troy and I talked about. Like they just came from a time period and they have a lot that like is in common. So we're gonna be able to touch on a bunch of that stuff here. So the movie we are talking about, the movie you picked for us to go one on one with, is Empire Records. There it
Cool.
is,
There we
beautiful.
go.
Released on September 22nd, 1995. Let's get into this real quick. If anybody feels like Chris and I are rushing through this episode, the only reason is every single year I've done my best to get Chris on to talk about Oscar stuff, and we've got some Oscar stuff to talk about at the end of this episode. So if you feel like I'm rushing us at any point, it's just because I'm really excited to get to that Oscar talk with Chris. So anyway, let's dive into Dazed and Confused real quick. Chris, would you consider this to be your all-time favorite film of all time? And if it's not, I normally ask people to tell me what their favorite film is, but every person I've asked before you told me that's an impossible question. So if Dazed and Confused isn't your favorite film of all time, give me like a top four.
I think that for anybody who is a super like cinephile movie person, like to ask them what it's like asking what's your favorite child, right? Like it's an impossible question because we are a lover of film and we love them all. Empire Records is probably in my top five. It holds a special place in my heart. Not an Oscar-worthy film in the least bit, but it holds a special place in my heart. So it's up there for me. Shawshank Redemption is up there for me.
Great film.
Uh, I don't know. I'm looking around at like movie posters in my house right now to kind of think of
It
things.
looks like you're looking around Empire Records, is what I'm seeing.
Well, we'll talk about my background in a second. Casino is an absolute
Oh,
all-timer for
yeah,
me.
that's a good
Love,
one.
love, love Casino. Um,
That's interesting. Now, the
and
Casino's not one that I can like regularly watch. Like, it's a great film, but it's not one where I'm like, it's Saturday afternoon, I should pop in Casino.
and I absolutely can.
Do
And I
you?
think that's probably
Nice.
because I'm a degenerate gambler a little bit, and so I love the Vegas aspect of it. But I do, and I love Scorsese films. So I mean, Shawshank and Casino are probably one, two for me if I had to pick a couple. So
Pretty
yeah,
cool.
two of
So,
my
getting
favorites.
back to Empire Records now, can you tell me, do you remember the very first time you ever saw Empire Records at home, at the theater? Like, what's your Empire Records story?
Um, I don't recall the first time I saw this film, actually. It is a film that just sort of naturally found its way to me, and I can't place how and why and where. I have to imagine maybe in college, like starting college. The movie came out in 95, then like senior year of high school, starting college in 97. They had like the movie channel on at IU, and they just played like, seven movies a month over and over on a loop. And maybe it was playing there, and maybe somebody was watching it in the dorm room. I don't know, but I found it, and I
Nice.
just have always kind of fallen in love with the film. Like I liked it, but it wasn't until like 2000, 2001 when I
Okay.
started managing and working at Warehouse Music, which is what my background is here. Like, if you guys
Oh,
remember,
okay, okay.
Warehouse Music, it used to be Blockbuster Music. So
There
this
you
is what
go.
the Clearwater Crossing store looked like. Like, this was the
Nice.
store with the
Okay.
listening posts and everything else. So like once I started to work at an actual music store, then all the little nuances of the film like came to life, and I'm like, oh, this film, and it just is one I always go back to because the nostalgia factor. Like for me, it puts me in a certain very memorable, very uh developmental state of life that I just look fondly back on. Um so I enjoy watching it because all of the characters in the film are somebody that I worked with.
Oh, nice. Well, and so I think I'm combining warehouse music and when you were in New York City. Like you worked at an actual records company in New York City
Yeah,
as opposed to like Tower Records or something.
yeah. So, well, before I worked for Interscope Records in New York, but before I went out there, I was doing radio and radio promotions here. But as a extra part of that, sorry, my dog is barking, but
No worries.
she's doing what she's doing. But as an extra layer to that, I was managing warehouse music here in Indianapolis. I was working at the Clearwater location. I was the GM of the 38th Street location, and
Nice.
such. So that was yeah, that was part of the background there.
Was Waves Music your biggest competition back then?
Was what was it?
Was Waves Music your biggest competition back then?
You know what? I wouldn't say Waves was. Best Buy was the
Best
biggest
Buy was.
competition
Okay.
back then, and that's just because Best Buy was using music as their loss leader. That was the hook, along with DVDs, to get you in the door because they were
Ah,
charging $8.99 for the brand new CDs. Well,
sure.
they just want you to get in the door. So I'd say Blockbuster or a Best Buy was the biggest competitor, whereas the Waves, the Karmas, the Musicland or Sam Goody or
Oh, yeah. So
Coconut,
Sam
whatever,
Goody.
all the different record stores back in the day. We were all the higher priced stores,
Gotcha.
doing
Bro,
whatever we
all of
could
those
to.
stores you just named brought so much nostalgia rushing back to me, dude. Oh my God. Oh, so cool. All right, man. Well, let's talk about let's talk, I always like to start the episodes off with what somebody would see the first time that they were gonna watch Dazed or gonna be introduced to Dazed and Confused, whether you were at the movie theater and you're looking in the lobby and you see a poster, or you're browsing through Best Buy and you see the VHS box art. But those two things are basically essentially the exact same for Empire Records. Like I can't really ask you which one you like better. Like they all basically used the same pose of the cast,
Yeah.
and they just slightly changed it for the home video release. Like it was on a white
Yeah,
background
it just was a
for the
plain white
poster.
background
Yeah.
with the cast, and that was true for the one sheet, the original VHS, and the original DVD. Now they changed it for this remix edition of
Yeah.
Empire Records and added this blue background. But
Hmm.
every other time, it's just been plain white. Um, but I mean, it's funny is that those are all marketing pieces, right? And so
Sure.
when you think of it's just very simple. But
Mhm.
what is it? What's the story really telling you on these covers? It's the name of the movie. It's
Yep.
records in it, so you kind of know, all right, this is going to be about a record store. And then it's got this ragtag group of individuals on the front. And I think in 1995, for the middle of the grunge era and everything else, you look at this group of individuals and you could probably find yourself somewhere in there, and then that draws you in. They're like, all right, well, I'm gonna see that because I like music and I like record stores, and oh, I'm that age. So a simple poster but effective, I think.
I 100% agree with you. I had the same thoughts about being able to look at it and identify with one of the people on there that you think, that guy looks like that's me. Like that's the character I would associate with. Or, I mean, it doesn't hurt that they have the beautiful Liv Tyler front and center wearing a super short skirt. Like that definitely doesn't turn me away from wanting to watch this movie. The weird thing is when I was doing the script for this episode and I looked at that, the very first thing that popped into my head was the Airheads one sheet. was
Yeah,
literally the exact same. It was just the three of them on a
three of
solid
them.
white background. So it just I'm not sure what it was about the early to mid 90s that like that was like that would never fly today. Like no one sheet would ever look like that today.
Be so plain. No, they just couldn't.
Yeah.
They'd be filling it to the edge with stuff. But yeah, that
So
Airhead three sheet was another one.
yeah. So
One sheet, sorry, three
we
sheets. Something.
usually move into talking about the writer and director here, and we're gonna do that, but like the weird thing with like Empire Records to me seems like it should be one of those movies that like this director had an amazing career. Like this is like Richard Linklater or like the writer. Like this writer should have had an amazing career, like Kevin Smith type thing. But like you look at the writer and director of this, and they didn't do a whole lot outside of like they did some things, but not anything huge. Like the director of this film is a gentleman named Alan Moyle. I tell you that Alan Moyle also directed a film called Pump Up the Volume with
Yeah.
Christian Slater, which I think is a phenomenal movie. Like I think that movie's really well done. Probably how he got this movie. Like I think they were a couple of years apart. But he did like The Gun in Betty Lou's Handbag, Say Nothing, and then I don't know if you're familiar with the Michael Jackson made for TV movie, The Man in the Mirror. Like that seems like it would be
Oh, I
up
didn't
your
know he
alley.
did that.
Oh yeah, so he directed that. But like that's it. Like those are the like only things on his resume that I've ever even heard of
But
that
it's
I know
almost like
anything about.
those these films, like I mean, Linklater's a little bit of an outlier, but like the films of the mid '90s are just very much kind of little lightning in a bottle things. Like this, there was
Okay.
just this era. So like somebody's doing Pump Up the Volume, can do Empire Records, can do Gun and Betty Lou's Handbag. Like they're just very niche specific kind of films. And Linklater did Dazed and Confused and did more recently Boyhood or Blue Moon, which is as
Yeah.
we get into the Oscar talk, we can talk about that. But
The before trilogy.
I don't think that it makes I don't think I would have expected somebody who's directing in the mid '90s to break out and have this long career because the truth of the matter is a lot of these films are only great to a very specific group of people.
I, I can't argue that. I can't argue that.
So, we'll
Um,
see. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
In the
Pump Up
same
the
vein.
Volume is very much a cult classic film, as
Oh,
are the
for
rest
sure.
of these. So,
Yeah. Moving on to the writer, Carol Heikkinen. I literally I never would have known that was who wrote this film if I didn't start, putting this together. Like I've seen her name a million times when I watched the movie, but it does not stick with me. She did write a movie called That Thing Called Love, which
which
I
I
just
actually have seen and I enjoy. It's Sandra Bullock.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Sandra
Um,
Bullock and River Phoenix, and it's like about the Nashville music scene, and it had like Empire Records, like Dazed and Confused, like Pump Up the Volume. It had an amazing soundtrack to it. So
Soundtracks in the 90s, man, we will get there. But she also wrote the movie Center Stage, which I think is a pretty
another
decent
cult
film.
classic from like
Yeah.
what 99 2000 about ballet.
I want to say 2000, yeah, I believe.
It's one of my few, like, we still have physical media. I could go downstairs right now and grab that off the shelf. It's still shrink
Nice.
wrap from the day I bought it. It's one I've never I own it. It's down
Yeah,
there,
that's
but
awesome.
it's still in the shrink wrap.
Um,
But yeah,
so with Empire Records, we're going to be able to talk a lot more about the cast because this has an insane cast to it. And much like why I call this like the spiritual successor to Troy's episode is with Dazed and Confused, it's really hard to narrow down who the main characters of these films really are. Like it's a very ensemble piece. And while
absolutely.
there's one or two people that it kind of focuses on, like Lucas in this film is really the driving factor of what happens throughout the day. But like it's just such an ensemble group of so many different stories all going and playing perfectly at the same time. I'm going to try to pick the people that I would consider leads, and then you can let me know if you feel differently on it. But like one of the things that I really got into when I was talking to Troy was Rory Cochrane, and like that's who I'm going to have to claim is the lead in this movie because, like I said, the entire day that happens is because of Lucas's decision to go gamble away $9,000, and that leads to the snowball effect of all of the crap that happens in this day. Rory Cochrane, man, in Dazed and Confused, he is the epitome of a stoner. Like I think, and Troy got it right. He created that version of a stoner character from that movie, and then you watch him as Lucas in this film, sarcastic, cynical,
Mhm.
dry humor, like so just like, monotone most of the time. Like he is an amazing actor that like these two roles back to back are just kind of like what's like in my opinion just shows the range that this dude has as an actor. Like I know he's done a lot of stuff like he was in Argo and Black Mass and Public Enemies and Hearts of War. Like he's had a lot of like small parts, but like that's a dude that I really feel like is an amazing actor.
Created two iconic characters.
Yep.
And that's an impossible thing to do because I mean, back in Dazed and Confused, when you look back, I mean, when you think of stoners, it's him and Spicoli. Like that's
Yeah.
those two,
Yep.
and those are the iconic stoners. And then to go from that to this and create another just very avant-garde kind of character was remarkable. But I agree. I think Rory, if you do look at Empire Records, this character is sort of the main character. And you're right. It goes, he finds out as he's closing the store one night that they're trying to save the store or sell the store. It's going to be sold out to Music Town,
Music Town. Yep.
and go corporate. Because the thing that they love about working at Empire Records is that it's not corporate. This is a group of people who have an emotional stake at the place that they work. This is their
Oh,
refuge. This is what makes them happy. And that's the same reason why I loved working at Warehouse Music because we had that sort of freedom and flexibility. Yes, we were corporate, but corporate was as far from us as you could imagine. Like we could kind of do what we wanted and feel what the pulse of the local music scene was and kind of go with that. So that's why I really kind of connect with this as well. But Lucas is the main character because he does go and take the day's closing drop of $9,000 to Atlantic City, tries to double it, does double it.
yep.
Then he gets greedy, tries to
Yep.
quadruple it, loses, and then as we get into the film, it's just one thing after another as they discover that Lucas lost all the money and um,
Dude,
it,
his deadpan look at the camera when he loses the second round, and he just looks and goes, "I wonder
I
if I'm
wonder
going
if
to
I'll
be
be
in
held
trouble."
responsible for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if I'll be
Actually,
held responsible for this. Um, well, the thing is like what else makes him sort of that main character are those moments in the film where he just deadpan looks at the camera. Because there's several of them that he is sort of the narrator of the film, in my opinion, and he
yeah.
keeps the action going from little character arc to character arc. He's a little bit of a connection between them all.
When
Um,
he announces to Joe, I'm getting off the couch, and Joe's nowhere around, but he still has to verbalize that to just,
right.
well, I told you I was getting off the couch.
Yeah,
Like,
he's rationalizing it in his head as he does
yes,
throughout the film.
yes.
But it's absolutely a great character. And it's also probably the character that I related to most,
Cool.
not not having fully figured out who I was back then.
Okay.
Looking at him, I was like, there's something just odd. There's something artistic. There's something different about this character. Nothing is ever mentioned in the world of the movie of sexuality or anything else like that, but there was always just something there that I kind of related to um, with that character. So Lucas, I
Definitely
think,
be open for interpretation.
yeah, is just my favorite character in the film.
Very
Um,
nice.
so
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite Lucas line?
I mean, Lucas's famous line is going to be "Damn the man," right?
Well,
Like
of course, sure,
that's kind
yeah.
of the whole.
Damn the man.
Yeah, but that's the point of the movie, right? That's them trying to figure a way to save the music store and to also, I'm sure we're going to get into Rex Manning, but also, to give a big FU to rock people who think they're better than other people, right? Um, so with regards to that, because they all turn on him and tell him his album sucks and he's a fraud, and it's like so. I mean, damn the man is always kind of this iconic line. Um,
I've
from
mentioned Airheads earlier, and I didn't mentally deep dive into Airheads the same way that is also about a radio station that is selling, like, not selling out in the same way the record store is, but like selling out is in like changing their style of music. That was obviously like a really big concern for independent music people back in the day was selling out either the station or the store. I didn't put that together before.
Well, I mean, I think so. I think this was long before downloading, long before social media or anything else. So like you really relied on record store employees to listen to your stuff and then push it and try and sell it.
Sure.
And that's what we did. That's why, like, for us, like, the thing people came to Warehouse Music and Blockbuster Music for are these listening shelves behind us because we would have 20 different albums out for people to
Oh,
listen
nice.
to. And also, like, if you brought an album to us and we didn't have an open copy of it, we would open it for you.
Oh,
And so
wow.
you could listen to it. And so, like, yeah, like to have those things, or to have radio stations that were more locally owned that had more control over what was being played, um that was important, and that was how that's how artists break out. I mean, Nirvana and Pearl Jam don't become Nirvana and Pearl Jam without the Seattle music scene and K-Rock. Like, they just don't do that. Everybody in New York needed you know the radio stations in the 80s to become Blondie and to become the Sex Pistols or anything else. Like, you need that to start building your fan base. And now you need TikTok. But
Right.
anymore, I struggle with how do we get another, this is totally off its subject, but like
Go
how
for
do
it.
we find that next big band that's gonna last? Because so many songs and so many artists are one and done because it's just trendy and fad. And like if you don't stay relevant on TikTok, you're gonna be done. So
It is
I
a
get,
weird world.
yeah, it's just a weird time for music, but change is inevitable and it happens, and that's
Yeah.
okay. We'll deal with it. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. The lead actress I feel like might be a little more difficult to nail down. There's a couple of different females that have some good storylines here. I went with Liv Tyler specifically for the concept of the fact that she is AJ's love interest and like the object of affection in the film, and AJ's pursuit of her, her pursuit of Rex Manning, her uh, friendship fight with Renee Zellweger's character. I feel like if I had to pick the actress that would be the lead, it would be Liv Tyler, who Liv Tyler has done an insane amount of films that I absolutely love, and that's probably why I think it's her, maybe. Because
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, I think that that is the main female character for
okay,
the film. The other argument would be the Renee Zellweger character, but she doesn't have as many things going on with her. With the Liv Tyler character, like you see that she's struggling with herself ultimately,
absolutely.
and trying to figure out, the college plans. She's trying to come to grips with her own sexuality in a way, especially when she decides, like, today's the day I'm going to sleep with Rex Manning because she has the opportunity to be in front of a music star. And she has to deal with, uh, the the fight with her best friend essentially within the one day, where a lot happens in one day.
One,
But then
one
she
does.
has, she has the admirer who admits that he loves her. And there's just a
Mm-hmm.
lot going on with that character. So I think throughout the film, as much as Lucas is the main male character, she very much is the main female character because you're going along with her story. You're seeing her conflict and then eventually her resolution. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's remarkable that it is one of, I think it's, was it Liv's, was it like her first, it was her first big movie, wasn't it? To an extent?
I probably
Yeah, I
like
mean, but to
yeah,
see like Liv Tyler and Renee Zellweger, like, hello, Oscar winner,
Robin Tooney.
what? With,
Robin Tooney.
yeah, in like Ethan Embry and
Yep.
Maxwell Caulfield,
Yep.
like
Uh,
this movie, and Debbie Mazar, who we'll talk about, but like this
Anthony
movie had no
LaPaglia.
business having this cast in it.
Yep.
But I have a feeling that they saw a script and they all saw a part of themselves with this ragtag group of people and said, you know what? Yeah, I'm in on this.
There's something special about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So just to list other Liv Tyler movies that I absolutely love, there's Armageddon, Jersey Girl, Reign Over Me, and The Strangers are all movies that I think are absolutely phenomenal. Do you have other than Empire Records, like do you have a favorite Liv Tyler performance of hers?
Oh man. I mean, Armageddon, I think, is the most iconic role that she
Sure,
was in. I mean, Lord of the Rings, the bigger films,
sure.
but Armageddon was really the breakout role for her, and that was like that put her on the map. That was a lot of fun. But she
I
did
mean,
do
she
this.
also got to do the music video with her dad.
I mean, that's yeah, exactly. Like that doesn't help. That's or it does help when Steven Tyler is your dad
Yeah.
and puts you in the Aerosmith music video. But I do love the underrated performance from her. I remember seeing it back at the Castleton Parking Lot Arts Theater, this little movie called Cookie's Fortune,
Oh,
and nobody saw this thing. That was one of those that we just watched, but I really enjoyed it in that too. Like good flick. Do a deep dive on
if
one day.
if it wasn't a Castleton Arts movie, I never would have seen that. I never would have known what that movie was without Castleton Arts.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you already started this. Let's just break the doors open. I'm gonna list off a bunch of names, and then you tell me any one of them that you want to get into and talk about. Because we had Anthony LaPaglia as Joe, the store manager. Maxwell Caulfield played Rex Manning, kind of the main catalyst of everything going on at Empire Records that day. Johnny Whitworth was AJ, another character that you're kind of supposed to navigate part of the movie through, since he's the one with the love story going on. Robin Tooney plays Deborah, literally walks in the first scene in the movie and shaves her head. So you know you're going to go on a wild ride with her for the rest of that movie, and she's got a fairly decent arc about an angsty teenage girl that just is pissed off at the world.
Wait, and
Uh,
I love the Deb character because we had a girl in high school
mhm.
who was absolutely Deb. Like literally one day went into the bathroom, shaved her head, it came out, and it was like, what is happening?
Oh my god, that's
Like, I
insane.
love the Dev character.
Renee Zellweger plays like the literal bitch. Like she is a bitch to her friends. She is a bitch to her not friends. She just has a I don't give an F attitude and just says whatever she wants. And then when her best friend won't sleep with Rex Manning, what does she do? She goes and sleeps with Rex Manning to prove her point.
Yep, not a good character.
Not a good character. A very well played character, but
Oh, sure,
not not a
yeah.
good. Debbie Mazar, who, if you've ever watched Entourage, I love her from Entourage. But she plays in like she just plays like this cute sidekick to Rex Manning that just has this great vibe with Joe, and like that whole little what are you doing after you close? Like their whole interaction is a lot of fun. And then of course there's Brendan Sexton III, who plays Warren, not Warren. Um, such a ridiculous like out of everything that happens in the movie, like I feel like Warren's subplot is the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, yeah, he shows up with blanks in the gun, but still that scene is just so ridiculous. Um, but I mean, I guess that's what the '90s was, right? Like, there,
I
I guess
mean,
that fits.
yeah, I mean, the Warren character is he goes there and he steals some CDs, right? He steals Whitney
Mhm.
Houston for his girlfriend, yeah, whatever. But he's this like outsider who wants to be a part of the cool kids working at that store,
Yeah,
right? So like he's doing it for attention. He's doing it as this way to get in because he feels like he's not good enough to be hired or to be cool enough to be a part of that team, and eventually kind of they embrace him and they welcome him in and hire him at the store, essentially,
Uh-huh.
because he's just a music kid like the rest of them. He just doesn't give himself enough credit for it. And I think, that line about, oh, it's for my girlfriend isn't necessarily true because it just shows that, like, look, I can buy Whitney Houston because I have this eclectic music taste, which is why I'm like want to work here. um, I love the Warren character for that regard, and I love the innocence of him as well, especially when um, Renee Zellweger's character. And I don't know why I've seen this movie so many times, and I'm blanking on names all of a sudden. But when she comes out dressed in just the orange Music Town
Oh yeah.
jumper, and he's there, and Lucas is like covering his eyes, and he's like pulling away, like just the innocence of that is just been I like the Warren character. Um
One was a lot of fun. You
but
have any
also like
feelings on Rex Manning?
the other one who's not like on our list we can't forget is Ethan Embry, which
I'm sorry, absolutely.
people
Yes.
like Ethan Embry, went on to do Can't Hardly
Can't hardly
Wait,
wait. That thing you
did Vegas
do.
Vacation, he's done Boiler Room, which I think was a great film.
Yep.
Um Ethan Embry is in this as Mark, who's like the stoner of this film,
Sure.
essentially. Um, and he has a great character in the show. But yeah, I mean, this is just a stacked cast. Maxwell Caulfield, I mean, Grease too, right? Like became iconic in this. And Debbie Mason,
Like
you're right,
he's like a
SpongeBob.
Broadway star, isn't he? Or what? Like in the
Yeah,
80s or
so I mean,
90s?
I just saw him in a Martin McDonagh play called The Hangman a couple of years ago,
Oh, wow.
um, and was fantastic in it. I mean,
Nice.
yeah, he's still acting on stages and doing things, um, and of course, Renee Zellweger went on to, become a big
Oscar.
actress and
Yep.
win two Oscars, Cold Mountain and Judy. So nominated for Chicago and other things. So there's a lot that has stemmed from this film, but there's also piece of trivia,
Mhm.
Tobey Maguire in the film.
Sorry, what? Where's Tobey
So
Maguire in this movie?
Tobey Maguire was originally going to be playing AJ in the film
No
and
way.
was attached to the film, then went on this like retreat with the writer where apparently they did some magic mushrooms. And he came to this epiphany that he wants to go back to Hollywood and like write his own script and do his own thing. So they mutually decided Tobey Maguire would not continue with the film, but he's got a blink and you miss it kind of moment in the film. But if you look in the credits, he's there.
You're telling me in 1995, Tobey Maguire had the pull to be like, nah, I'm not gonna do this movie? Like, what had he done before this that I'm baffled by this fact.
I think that he was very much the budding of that Billionaire Boys Club with DiCaprio and all that
Okay,
crew. So maybe he did have the pull. I don't know, but also how
interesting.
much pull do you really need to say I'm not doing Empire
Okay,
Records?
I mean,
I
but
don't
like,
know.
I just, man, that's bonkers, dude. That's
But
pretty
yeah,
cool. I had no
but
idea. Okay.
in the film, so what could have been with that with Tobey Maguire, but
I mean,
so
much like Dazed and Confused, man, I went on this rant when Troy and I were talking about just imagine all of these people hanging out on a set together, like mid 90s Hollywood low budget indie movies were just like amazing. Like these are all just a bunch of people at the beginning of their careers that had amazing actors at the beginning of their careers just hanging out together and making something for fun. Like I can't even imagine what that
they're
was like.
they're growing up together on film sets.
Yeah.
And I think that it'd be, it would have been incredible to be around that. But at the same time, we all have our jobs where we surround ourselves with the people that we grew up with and we hang out with. And yeah, we might not go on to be famous or anything, but the stories are still there in a lot of ways. I think there's not much different, truthfully, between whether or not you have an acting job and you're doing whatever. But
Absolutely.
uh,
And I mean, I feel like this is later on down in the script, but we've hit a good point to just kind of address it and bring it up, man. Like, you and I, like our friendship and our relationship that we have literally stems from an Empire Records type work environment. We worked at a movie theater together
oh,
where movie theater employees became family. I talk to more people from 1999 working at Clearwater to this day than I do any other job I've ever had since then.
oh, agreed. And I mean, there's no reason that there. I mean, why hasn't there been an Empire Records made about a movie theater?
Movie
Because let
theater,
me tell you
yeah,
something. The stories that we can tell about what
absolutely.
happens at a movie theater. I mean, there's people backstabbing each other. There's shit going on with customers. There are people having sex in rooms around a movie theater. I mean,
Absolutely.
it just there's a film yet to be made, in my opinion, about life working at a movie theater in the 90s because
I
it's
mean, I can send this your way. You probably aren't aware of this. I can send this your way. Some of the people in our circle I've shared this with. I did start working on a novel that was a novelization of us making Consternate. But while we were making Consternate, we were working at the movie theater also. So it was kind of a double-edged. This is a bunch of employees working at a movie theater and all the crazy shit they deal with, and then they go off together and make this movie together. And I can send you at some point the outline and stuff that I put together for that.
I mean, if
Take that
nothing more
back.
than nostalgia would be great.
Sure. And I take that back. I do believe you actually were aware of that. I reached out to you at one point for help with one of the characters that was in there.
It's been so long, but
Yeah. No, it was. Oh, this was. I mean, this was 7 or 8 years ago that I reached out about that. And if we can talk later, and I can remind you what the question was that I asked you about that character. But
perfect.
yeah. So yes, I agree. Like, how is it like they've got record stores, they've got like other things, but like we could make a great movie about a bunch of people working at a movie theater together and all the crazy shit we used to do together and whatnot. Perkins, Denny's, bowling, all kinds of stuff.
Everything. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans that can be discussed for sure.
All right, let's get back to Empire Records. We had a good little tangent there. With Empire Records, what is the like one shot and or one scene in the movie that you love the most?
All right, so working in the music store myself, right? Like the scene that I kind of enjoy most because we dealt with it a lot was Warren getting busted stealing.
Okay.
And Lucas chasing him. Uh, because back in the 2000, we didn't really have to worry about being sued for assaulting a customer if they were stealing anything. And so I can remember absolutely to this day these two kids, high school kids from North Central that came to the record store like during their lunch break. They were walking around with a stack of CDs, and of course that's red flag for us, right? Like,
Sure.
we're like, wait a minute, you've got 8 to 10 CDs in your hand. Something's going on here. So much like Lucas, like we're watching them, and then you go up and you make small talk conversation, and then you kind of pretend that you don't know what they're doing and you turn your back and then that's when they make a run for it and then you absolutely we I remember we chase them out into the parking lot. They get into their little Honda Civic and I remember dropping an elbow onto to the mirror of the car to break it off so that we could identify it. And the next day their mom called and had the kids come back to the store and apologize to us and bring everything
Nice.
back. So I don't know, like that scene just resonates with me where they're chasing Warren and they eventually catch up to him just because to deal with people stealing every day was always kind of a fun little game we'd always play like who can catch who's stealing. So
That's amazing,
I
dude.
I
That's
love
so
that
cool.
that scene in the film. So,
Very nice. Another thing that makes me really happy that you picked this is out of all the movies people have picked so far for season two, Days and Confused was a good one to talk about, but that was a lot of 70s music. We have talked numerous times on this podcast about how 90s soundtracks were just on another level. Like
oh,
90s soundtracks put banger after banger after banger all together to make the greatest mixtapes possible. And this is a prime example of it. Specifically, I'm a huge Gin Blossoms fan, and Till I Hear It From You is on this. Like, it's actually twice in the movie. That's so great. Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles, Money by the Flying Lizards, Liar by the Cranberries. We got Better Than Ezra, Toad the Wet Sprocket, Dishwalla and the Dire Straits are on this.
War is in the movie.
War is in the movie. Like, just ridiculous.
But it's such
Like,
a great it's such a great soundtrack again because it's like it's the music mix of the people working at the store, right? Like
oh,
then
sure.
it's put onto this album, and that's why we love it so much. And I mean, Gin Blossoms is the number one '90s band in my opinion. It's like Gin Blossoms, Goo Goo Dolls, Counting Crows, like they're like boom, like top three. Uh,
Absolutely.
and cranberries are up there too. But so to have those songs in one place made soundtracks so crucial to daily life because that's where you got your music, and it was not only important to the film, but like it became this huge marketing thing for the films because people go out and buy the soundtracks
Yep.
but I think there's a lot of films that would not have become as big as they did become if they didn't have a banger soundtrack. And that's gonna be Empire Records. It's gonna be Dazed and Confused, which by the way, if you watch Empire Records, there's a Dazed and Confused sticker on the register with,
Yes. Yep.
kind of like a little hat tip to that soundtrack.
Absolutely.
Going later into the 90s, like City of Angels, Can Hardly Wait. I mean, even the Batman and Robin soundtrack or
Yep.
Armageddon, like these are all just crazy soundtracks. And The Bodyguard, like, is
Oh,
The
yeah.
Bodyguard as big a film as it is without that soundtrack? I don't think it is. I
I
mean,
would
does
agree
it go
with that.
on to sell the most albums of, is it still like the most sold album of all time? It's got to be
I
up
believe
there
it's
no
up
matter
there.
what. And
Yeah.
then to eventually turn into a Broadway musical. Like, I don't think it does. And, not to transition to Broadway, but also last year, I got to see a musical stage version of Empire Records. It
No
exists.
way.
It does exist. It is still in development, but they did their tryouts outside of New York at Princeton. And so, well, we went down, we saw the stage version of Empire Records, and
How was that?
it's because I love the movie so much, like my expectations were through the roof.
Sure.
And I'll just say they have plenty of work to do on it still, and to
Okay.
see where it goes and if it becomes anything. Um, it hit on some levels, but they brought it more into the modern era, which I didn't like. I want the
I was
nostalgia of
about to ask
the
if it still
90s.
had a lot of the 90s music involved.
No, because they didn't have the rights to the music, so
Okay.
they had to create new songs and everything else. So
That's what I
that's
was
where
wondering.
it's
So
kind of
it
like,
is a musical.
but it is musical, yeah.
A musical. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But
Okay.
it is out there, it does exist, and it was fun to go, have the chance to see it.
Man, it's too bad they couldn't go like Rock of Ages style and get some of those songs and get the rights to them.
I think they eventually, if they find the right
Investors.
investors who can pool their money together, like you can buy the rights to anything. Just
Sure.
takes a certain amount of money.
Money.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, soundtracks of the 90s films just incredible.
Absolutely. My bits of trivia, we don't really need to focus a whole lot on. I just wanted to point out that Rex Manning Day, according to the movie, is actually on April 8th. And they picked this day specifically to coincide with it was when the movie came out, it would have been 1 year after Kurt Cobain died. So they wanted that dichotomy of
Oh,
Rex Manning.
I didn't know that.
So Rex Manning Day is celebrated every year on April 8th. And
There
then the
is, and you
production
can
picked that.
go. They do film screenings at the actual location where the record store
Hmm.
was, and it's in North Carolina.
That's
You can
awesome.
go. It's a restaurant now, but you can go and they show the film, and they have each year they have like one of the really low playing stars come
Got
back
you.
and kind of host it. So yeah, but yep, Rex Manning Day,
And
April 8th.
April 8th. And then the other thing on as far as Rex Manning goes is um, we got an entire Rex Manning music video because the second unit director that was sent out to shoot 17 seconds to use in the movie decided I'm going to shoot a full 4.5 minute video while we're out here. And so he just, I don't know how he went over budget and how he made it happen, but he just produced an entire music video when he was told, go shoot us 17 seconds to put on screen. And
That's
I think
amazing.
that's hilarious.
And I flipped the DVD over, and the music video is included in the remix
Oh,
edition. So
nice.
that's fun. Yeah, there's not much to that music video, but just that's just the second unit saying we're gonna try and do something on our own.
Yeah. All right. So as we wrap up the Empire Records talk real quick, I just want you to tell me what you love. So like, we've talked about a lot of things you love in the movie, but just real quick, what is it that makes you absolutely love this movie so much?
It's the characters. I mean, it's the characters and it's the music store itself, which is very much to me is also a character in the film. It's being able to look back at my life and put myself in those situations, to hear the music and to look around a record store at everything from the racks that the CDs and everything are stored on, to the accessory rack. Like I looked at and I'm like, oh my God, they're selling like the 100 pack holders, the big
Sure.
books, or like some of the fun accessories that we had to deal with back there.
Oh
Or
yeah.
I love, that they would fight over who gets to play what music over the speakers for the day, because we would all have that argument. Like, um, so, for me, it's just nostalgia, and having that film that puts me back in a certain period of my life that I look fondly upon. It's why I love the movie. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not, an award-winning film by any stretch of the imagination, as I said, but it means something to me. And that's the beauty of film, is that a film can be great, it can be an Oscar winner, or a film can be just garbage. And it can mean the world to somebody. I mean, we all make fun of The Room, but that film means a ton to a lot of people. Like,
Sure.
to a lot of people, there is a social outlet that is needed to that, and that film and those screenings of it
Yeah.
creates a community. Um, so I love this. I'm lucky I found like all former record store employees that I talked to, like not only that I worked
So,
with or I've met later in life, like everybody loves this film because it does the same thing for us all.
yep.
So I love it. I will say the last little thing as we move off of this film.
Let's do it.
Um, I have been known to do, I don't know, throw money around for crazy shit before, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
I love one of my like favorite questions is always like, what's the craziest thing you ever bought on eBay? Uh, uh 3 years ago, there was like Prop Store, which sells off Hollywood memorabilia.
Okay.
I look at their catalogs just for fun. I like to see what's coming out, what
Uh,
pipe dream of, oh my gosh, like this iconic prop, like it could be mine, you
yeah.
know.
Sure.
They put up for sale AJ's outfit, the sweater vest, Liv's outfit of that skirt and the blue sweater, and Mark's outfit, the red t-shirt and the pants. They were all a part of an auction. And I bid like crazy on them trying to win them. And it eventually got too out of range for me. But man, do I wish
Oh,
I would have won those auctions and would have had those
oh,
outfits. But it was, but they, it wasn't as much as you thought. But I wasn't going to spend $4,000 a piece for them. But that's about what they ended up going for.
bro,
And I
you
kind
had
of
me
wish,
holding my breath that you were going to stand up and be wearing Liv
I
Tyler's
know.
skirt.
uh, So yeah, that's I wish looking
It's
back at it, I'm like, oh,
amazing.
I wish I would have just pulled the credit card out and done it at that point in time.
Oh, dude, that
But
would have been amazing.
I still look at the Hollywood auctions to see if they ever come about. So,
Once upon a time, I mean, I was working for Tim at this point because Tim showed it to me. But once upon a time, they put up the Rocketeer helmet for sale,
oh
and I
wow.
was just like, "Oh my God, I would love to own that." But when months later, when I re-looked it up, I was like, "There's no way I ever could have come close to what it ended up
We'd
going
still
for."
I'd still be paying it off. So,
Yeah.
well,
So, all
so
right, bro. Well,
anyway.
I appreciate it so
Yep.
much.
One of my favorite
Nostalgia is a
films.
powerful
Love to
drug.
talk about it. And now
Yes.
we can also, it's getting into my favorite time of year.
So,
Everybody has their favorite season. My favorite season is Oscar season. So,
which starts every year in the fall when you go to Telluride. And I love checking in with you and stalking you when you're at Telluride because you get to see a bunch of shit before, like months before it comes out. And then I'm always like, bro, what do I have to go see? Like, I love living through you for that. So, it's Oscar time. We have the Oscars coming up this weekend. What what are you most excited about? What do you want to win the most? I've seen a few of these things, but like, give me some ideas of what your favorite ones are. We'll see if I've seen any of them.
um, it's an interesting year. I mean, we have a film in Sinners that has the most nominations in history, 16
Sure.
nominations.
Yeah.
And then you have One Battle After Another with I don't know how many nominations it has, but those two films, Sinners and One Battle After Another, are kind of the two front runners as far as Best Picture goes. Like who's gonna win what? I think the consensus feeling is that One Battle After Another is the conventional film that's going to win Best Picture.
Okay.
Great film with DiCaprio, Sean Penn and Chase Infinity, who didn't get nominated but went to North Central. Like I love the local aspect to that.
Right.
Um, but here's what's wild. Like I'm not counting Sinners out because of the way the Academy scores the votes, right? They don't
Sure.
just you don't just vote for one film and it's majority, right? It's
Yep.
preferential balloting. So like
Yep.
you rank things and a film might not get the most number ones, but it might get the most twos and threes, and that
Sure.
propels it to win. I believe that's, how we get films like Parasite winning. I think that's films like Green Book winning. Like these films that maybe aren't the conventional front runners. Even Moonlight, like La La Land was the
Sure.
front runner, but all of a sudden Moonlight jumped in and won.
Yeah.
Um,
After a little confusion,
yeah, well, so I'm not ruling Sinners out from winning Best Picture. I think
Sinners is a
that
solid movie. I like Sinners a lot. I have not been able to bring myself to watch one battle after another because it's 3 hours long. And I just don't know if I'm going to be able to sit through 3 hours. And I will before the Oscars, but like,
if you get a
is it
chance to
is
go,
it worth the 3 hour investment? Like, why can't they make 2 hour movies anymore?
this is yeah. I mean, it's impossible. It seems like. Um, Go see it in a theater if you can. Like, they're replaying a lot of things. Like, if you get a chance in the next couple days or something, or even post awards,
Yeah.
go see it in a theater. I think our attention span is garbage at home watching anything on television. One Bad After Another is very good.
Okay.
It is
All right.
very good. It's very fast paced as well. So it's worth seeing for sure. And
Is
Sinners,
that
yeah, I
Soderbergh?
mean,
Is that who that is?
is what is it?
Is it Soderbergh?
Um, that directed it? No.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, Paul Thomas Anderson. Yeah, P.T.
P.T.
Anderson. Yeah,
Anderson, who will win Best Director. I feel that he's gonna win Best Director, just because he hasn't won before, and I think Sinner's best chance is I think Sinners will win the Best Casting Oscar, which is new this year. I think Sinners will win that. Um, and
does that go to the casting
it goes
director?
to
Is
the
that who
casting
gets that
director.
Oscar?
It
Nice.
does. Um, but if it wins Best Picture, I wouldn't be surprised because, the Academy as of late has been choosing films that aren't your conventional old white person film. Like, I mean, just
Sure.
call it what it is. And so, like, you're seeing these new and exciting films win Best Picture, Anora and Parasite, like I said, and it's like, you know what? Maybe Sinners has got it. And it was so different and so
Yeah.
layered and deep. Um, that it very well could. If I had to place money on it, though, I would say One Battle After Another probably
Yeah.
takes it this year. But Sinners will have a few wins here and there. Best, what do we got? Supporting actor, I think will be Stellan Skarsgård for a sentimental value.
Okay.
Um,
Haven't seen that at all.
yeah, so I think I mean, he did a great job in that film. Um, I don't know if you have the nominees in front of you, but I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
actor is going to go for Timothy Chalamet and Marty Supreme, which I
Was
enjoyed.
that any good?
I liked Marty Supreme a lot.
Because the
It's
preview just
very,
made me annoyed by him, and I wasn't able to get over that to go watch the movie.
I mean, I get Timothy Chalamet is somebody in real life that it's just kind of roll my eyes at. You know,
Gotcha.
and it's probably because of the Kardashian connection, but
Well, okay,
and the
sure.
fact that we had to deal with him with the Knicks series and the Pacers, but whatever. Uh,
Maybe that. Oh,
but
that
he,
might be what it was.
but let me tell you something. Timothy Chalamet is a generational actor, and I think he's fantastic. I think this is his third nomination. She should have won for Call Me by Your Name, in my
Oh,
opinion. And so if he wins, I'll be happy for him. And then best supporting actor, what do we got? Benicio del Toro, perhaps for One Battle After Another. Um, who else is nominated in that category? Do you have it up
uh,
there?
Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and then you'd already said Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm at best actor.
Oh,
But hang
actor.
on.
Apologies.
Let me
Yeah, yeah, sure.
let me go back to this though. Like Stellan
Yeah.
Skarsgård, I think is going to win. But man, the most excited I was on nomination day was for Delroy Lindo. Delroy Lindo
Nice.
is finally getting his roses for a body of work that's been incredible. I fell in love with him in Get Shorty, and then To Five Bloods from Spike Lee a few years
Sure.
ago.
Yeah.
He was not only did he not get nominated, he should have won. Like that was it. So I'm so thrilled for Delroy Lindo. But best actor,
Real quick, while we're talking
sorry,
about
was
Delroy Lindo, let me. There's never been an actor that I have loved so much as an actor, but then had the worst experience meeting him. When I lived in
oh
LA, and I was working at the movie theater, and like it's probably my fault, but he came and watched a movie at the Mantan Valencia, and so once I helped him and he went into his movie, I drove all the way back to my apartment, got my copy of Gone in 60 Seconds, came back. As the movie dropped, I had my broom and my dustpan and was standing at the back of the theater. Lights come up, everybody leaves. He's the last person in the auditorium. I didn't do it in front of a bunch of people. I literally just walked up to him and said, "Mr. Lindo, I'm a huge fan of yours. Is there any way you would sign this DVD for me?" Literally didn't say yes, didn't say sure, didn't say anything. Signed it and walked away. Like gave me no interaction of any kind. It was nice that he signed it. I've still got a signed copy of Gone in 60 Seconds by him,
that's
but he
awesome.
literally didn't address me at all.
Well, never meet your heroes, as they say, I
Yeah, I
guess.
mean,
But
but I love him. I love his work. I think a lot of the movies that he does, he is amazing in. But like, I've just always got that little like, you couldn't be like that. Like, I'm showing you how much I don't know.
yeah.
It's
So I
just rubbed
guess
me the tiniest bit the wrong way.
I'm excited for him, but I guess I was wrong. So Del Toro is in Best Actor, but that's still Chalamet's category. Stellan Skarsgård for actor, supporting, and then supporting actress. That's
Supporting actress is Elle Fanning, Inga Ibdillies, Sentimental
uh-huh.
Value, Amy Madigan, which I love Amy Madigan. I didn't expect Weapons to get an Oscar nomination, but cool. Wound Me Mosca for Sinners. I'm not even
Nice.
sure which character she is. And
Yeah.
then Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another.
Um, tough category there. I don't, I mean, Amy's got some push going to that role. Like, there's
Yeah.
some love there from the Academy. So That one's kind of a toss-up. I'm not sure. I'm not putting money on that category. Um, and then
Which
Best
is weird. Like I
Actress.
love Weapons as a movie, but Weapons is not one of those movies that I look at and go, "That's an Oscar nomination." Like that's a movie I would get an Oscar nomination out of. Like she's
No, but
great
that role was so dynamic and weird and just commanding. Like that
for
when that Gladys character came on screen, like she commanded the screen, you know?
very,
So
very interesting character.
yeah.
What
Now,
do you got as far
best
as
actress,
screenplays?
best
Oh,
actress, I might pick a little bit of a dark horse.
okay.
Might go Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
She just won the Emmy though for it, didn't she?
Um, I don't know what
Or
she,
Golden Globe. Sorry, Golden Globe. Sorry, not Emmys. Emmys are TV. Golden Globe. Did she just win the Golden
yeah,
Globe?
I think she did win a Golden Globe for it. So, this movie, if you haven't seen it, is very in your face. It's very intense. It is hard to watch someone make every wrong decision every single time they have to make a decision. And that's why
Gotcha.
she's so great in the film.
Okay.
She
It
does,
is definitely very high on my list. I think it's on Peacock or one of the streaming services. Like, it's one
yeah.
that I definitely plan to watch very soon.
And if you don't like it, watch nothing more than for Conan O'Brien in the movie also. And Conan is great in his role as a therapist.
I was just saying,
Like,
is he her shrink? I've seen the preview, and he's like her
yeah.
shrink. Yeah,
So. So I don't know, I think it's funny. I think the Oscars more and more, I love how it's spread, the nominations are spread far and wide. I think that we're gonna have a nice mix of winners from various different films, and really do a good job of honoring, as many different films as they can. I hope it's gonna be entertaining. It usually always is.
sure. Yeah.
We'll see how political we get,
Um,
but But we'll see.
real
And
quick,
I'll tell you the lock of all locks, like
yes.
bet the farm on it
Uh-huh.
is going to be original song. It's going to be Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. There is in no world where that song does not win unless Diane Warren has cashed it in and bought every vote
That
possible.
that movie is another one that's on my high up to watch list. Like I just it never appealed to me until I started hearing from people my age that watched it with their kids and said, I mean, it's actually a really good story. Like it's a well done movie. And I'm like, maybe I do actually need to watch this movie.
I haven't watched it either, so maybe one day we'll watch it together. So,
There you go.
but
So real quick,
regardless,
of all the Oscar movies, the one that I've seen, I mean, I've seen a few of them, but I want your opinion on Hamnet because that's one of the ones that I have seen that I've fairly enjoyed overall.
for which I'm sorry, what was the question there again?
For Hamnet, it's up for like Jessie Buckley is up for lead actress in it.
Yeah, so I
Um,
mean Jessie Buckley is the front runner for that Oscar, so it's very possible that she
okay.
wins. But Hamnet is Scott Feinberg from the Hollywood Reporter called it trauma porn.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's
Right.
it's heavy.
Oh yeah.
It's heavy. But Chloe Zhao, who directed it, and she did, the writer, and she did Nomadland, which won a couple of years ago. Like,
Yeah.
and she did Eternals and the Avengers world. Like, it's shot beautifully. Like, it's beautifully done. Um, and but it's heavy, and it'll have you tearing up for it for sure at the end.
Oh yeah.
Um, and they've
As
ramped up
somebody who
their
considers
campaign.
myself as somebody who considers myself a writer, I was very the last 20 minutes of the movie is what I wanted like the whole second half of the movie to be. Like I wanted more of like
Oh,
seeing him create the play version and then like I was very surprised that there's a sword fight that you see in Act Three, and it doesn't mirror the sword fight when he was fighting with his kid, just having fun. And like I really thought that that was going to be a pair. Like as soon as they were started the sword fight in the
yeah.
play version, I was like, oh, this is totally going to go right back to when him and his kid were stick fighting, and they didn't. And I was just like, well, that was kind of a weird choice there. Like that's what I assumed they would have done. But like, I wanted more of the like because. But then I have to realize, and the thing I realized after watching the movie is it's so told from his wife's perspective and not his. Like he leaves, he goes off to do, he goes off. Like I want to see a parallel movie that shows me what he was doing while he was away, and like
Well,
that.
I think that's the whole point is that you're seeing the wife's point of view and the family's point of view, and then you kind of have to realize he's creating Hamlet as he's gone, right? Like that's happening over here.
Yeah,
And it's look, it's not very different than Wicked, but it's not in regards to as what's happening over here. There's this other thing happening over here. It's like Wicked, Wizard of Oz. Like
sure,
they're happening at the same time in two
makes
different
sense.
places. Um, but yeah, Hamnet was one of the better films of last year as well. Um,
Any of these Oscar nominated movies, ones that you did see while you were at Telluride?
yeah, so it's Hamnet. I was
Okay.
the first screening of Hamnet in the world. Like that was exciting to be there for that. Um,
Awesome.
we had waited in line. I was a bottle and a half wine deep. I was a little drunk, but I saw that. I, I've got to remember here everything that I saw. Just give me 1 second to pull up this year's list, and we'll see what we had here. Because Telluride for, I mean, I'm sure if people are watching, maybe they know, maybe they haven't. It's one of the major film festivals that plays all the films that are coming out for the Oscar season and such. Um, so let's see.
Not only that, like you're brushing over this. Like what makes Telluride different from other festivals is you're rubbing shoulders with movie star. Like movie stars go to this festival just to watch movies and just to hang out. Like not just because they have stuff that's showing there. And it's in Park City, Utah.
Park City was where Sundance was, but this is in
Yeah,
Telluride, Colorado. So
Telluride, Colorado. Yeah, yeah.
another ski town. But yeah, it's a film festival that is for cinephiles. It's very curated. There's only like 30 films that play the festival, but they are, important films. They are you have to be a world premiere or a North American premiere to even qualify to be there. So these films that come, they are bringing the stars, the directors, the right, everybody who's there, the creatives, and they're doing Q&As and they're doing, discussions in town park or they're just hanging out because there's no press at this film festival. They don't announce the lineup until the day before the festival starts. And
Mhm.
so it's too hard in logistics to get to. So the press goes to Toronto, which is the following week, and they're all there. So this is very much just where the stars can hang out, sit and watch movies right there with us. I mean, at Hamnet at that first screening, Oprah sat behind me. And it
Oh
just,
my God!
I mean, what do
Wow!
you do? Like, hello, like Oprah's
Oh,
sitting there, or
holy cow!
I mean, I've been going for years. I mean, I sat with Carrie Fisher and Clint Eastwood at the premiere of La La Land and sat next to Bill Murray and Martha Stewart at Will and Harper last year. Like, I had a great 3 block discussion walk with Oscar Isaacs, a long time ago, like before he was a thing.
Dude,
Like, this is just that kind of festival where everybody's hanging out and having a blast, totally approachable, and just it's fantastic.
it's
So
awesome.
this year, yeah, I mean, this year we had Blue Moon world premiered there with Ethan Hawke. We had, let's see, oh, Begonia, which I loved Begonia this year. Thought it was fantastic. So like Emma Stone came again. There
I
was
did not enjoy that
Jay,
movie.
Jay Kelly, which Jay Kelly was actually my favorite film of the year with
I
Clooney and
still need to
Sandler
watch
and
that.
Laura Dern. Like I loved that. A lot of foreign films. It was just an accident, which has gotten nominated. We had um, Cinema Value, which has got a lot of nominations as well, including Best Picture. Hamnet, Ballad of a Small Player. We world premiered Springsteen, the movie with Jeremy Allen White. Bruce
He's
came to that. Um, if I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Secret Agent. Uh, Gosh, there's just so many films that
Quite
came.
quite a few Oscar nominated movies up there.
There's a lot in there. There's one movie that's not even out. There's two movies that are not out yet. Pillion, with Alexander Skarsgård starts. Actually, it is out now. It's out now, so you can kind of catch that or catch it on demand at home. Um, but then this movie called Tuner, and it's about a piano tuner with Dustin Hoffman and one of the guys from White Lotus. But he's a piano tuner that realizes his hearing is so sensitive he can crack safes. And so it's a heist
Oh,
movie and it's fantastic. I love a heist movie. So
sure.
like this is like just very different, very cool. So when Tuner comes out, just keep an eye out for it.
Okay.
But very
Sounds like
fun.
fun.
So we shall see, and it's back over Labor Day weekend. So hopefully we'll be back there for year 14 for me.
You're
So
14. That is amazing, dude. I every year I love seeing your posts. I love seeing who you're
well,
hanging out with.
the good thing is too is that obviously not everybody can go to these film festivals. I mean, yes, you can if you want to go, you can go, you can pay for it.
Yeah.
But I will give a small shout out to our local film festival, Heartland Film Festival. The last few years, the guys from Heartland and the programming team have been going out to Telluride as well,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
there are a lot of films that are in Telluride that are playing the Heartland Film Festival, and films again that you can see well in advance. So don't shy away from taking part in the Heartland Film Festival when it's here in October, because they have really done a great job of getting their festival on the map so that the studios are agreeing to give them these big films. I mean, this past film festival, we had the second screening ever of Is This Thing On? I mean, so
Oh,
it world premiered at the New York Film Festival, and then
nice.
boom, we had it as the second festival to have that screening. Like, they're doing a really great job with that. So, for anybody
Sweet.
watching,
I really
like,
want to see that movie.
keep an eye out for Heartland Film Festival stuff because they're doing a great job. So.
I have fallen off of the Heartland bandwagon and I need to pick it back up. Like obviously for a couple of years I was really involved with them back in the general cinema days and stuff like that, and then a little bit with AMC, but
The
I need
quality
to
of
get back.
film has increased. I'll just say that
Okay. Well, that's good to hear.
much.
I mean, I met little Elle Fanning when she was like 4 years old, and her sister was here with Dreamer.
Yeah, and now, Elle is nominated for a sentimental value. So we'll see what happens on
If I
Sunday.
remember right, I'm pretty sure I have a picture of me with Gavin O'Connor, who ended up directing like a bunch of other sports movies that I love. I'm pretty sure that's who directed Dreamer. I might be making that up.
Eh,
Um,
who knows?
Anyway, Chris, brother, it is always an absolute pleasure to have you on here and talk movies with you. Number one,
Anytime.
and you have been a huge support, ever since I started doing this. You've always had positive things to say. You've always been up for joining. Appreciate you so very much, man. Love our friendship. Love having you around. Thank you for making the time to talk with me again, sir.
No, I appreciate the invite and had a blast. So
Awesome,
everybody, if
brother.
you haven't, go watch Empire Records.